Spoilers. We all hate spoilers, but what exactly are spoilers? What is a spoiler exactly? Let's talk about it. Hey, my name is James, and on this channel, 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. We talk about film, physical media, and entertainment, so welcome to the channel. Today, I'm going to talk about a subject that is pretty near and dear to my heart, and I think is near and dear to many of your hearts as well, and that is spoilers. You know, what are spoilers? What does a spoiler mean to you? What does a spoiler mean to me? Different people have different perspectives on this topic. So that's what I want to talk about and spur a community discussion. So let's talk about spoilers. And so I thought I would bring up two key questions to frame up this conversation. I'm going to answer these questions from my perspective, but then I want to hear from you. What are your answers to these two key questions? So let's go. Question number one, what constitutes a spoiler? Okay, what constitutes a spoiler to you? Question number two, what does spoiler-free mean to you? So what does spoiler-free mean to you? When you see a review on the internet, YouTube, or anywhere, what does spoiler-free mean to you? So I'm going to give you my perspective, and I want to hear from you what you think in the comment section. Now, for purposes of this video, I do want to use two examples of films, and these are two films from 1999 that I think are great examples of this conversation on spoilers. And just as a warning, I'm going to spoil both of these films in this video. So if you have not seen these two films, definitely leave this video, watch these two films that I'm about to name, and then come back. So the two films that I'm going to talk about as an example of spoilers in this discussion are M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense and the Wachowskis' The Matrix. These are two films from 1999 that I think are excellent examples that illustrate the importance of spoilers, what is a spoiler, and how to avoid spoilers altogether. So let's get into it. Before we get into it though, one last warning. If you have not seen these two films from 1999, The Sixth Sense from M. Night Shyamalan and The Matrix from the Wachowskis, if you have not seen The Sixth Sense or The Matrix, click off this video right now. Don't do yourself a disservice. You do not want these films spoiled. These are films that you need to see without knowing anything about these movies. Go into these films and enjoy them, and then come back to this video. So last warning, leave the video now if you have not seen The Sixth Sense or The Matrix. All right, we good? We're straight? Great, let's go. All right, so these are two movies that I think are best experienced knowing as little as possible going into the film, right? And there are movies that are like that. There are some films that you can, hear a little bit about or hear quite a bit information about, and it doesn't really spoil the experience once you go see the movie. It's not a film that's very sensitive on that level. But then there's other movies that the more you know about it, the more it begins to really spoil the experience of watching the movie. And I believe The Matrix and The Sixth Sense are two excellent examples of that. Now, I have The Matrix on physical media, I have it on this 4K Ultra HD. It's an upgrade from my DVD that I've had for several years. So this is The Matrix. And then I do not have a physical copy of The Sixth Sense. Let me go ahead and give you my answers. I have them written down on this little script that I have prepared for this video here. So I'm going to give you my answers to those two questions. So the first question is, what constitutes a spoiler? So here's my answer. Any information in advance that takes away from your experience enjoying the film and the impact of it, okay? Or said differently, any information you would rather have gained watching the movie, okay, and not knowing about in advance. So that's my answer to number one, is what constitutes a spoiler. Is any information that takes away from your experience watching the movie. Question two, what does spoiler-free mean to you? So what does spoiler-free mean to me? Well, spoiler-free to me means a general discussion of a film that doesn't violate number one and doesn't take away from a viewer's experience. So It's general discussion of a film that doesn't violate information that you really shouldn't know before seeing the film. So you're sort of dotting around the edges, talking in general about what the movie's about. That is the approach that I take when I do reviews on this channel, 20th and 21st Movies, is I'm really sensitive to thinking about your experience. If you have not seen a film, if you've not seen the movie, I'm thinking about, okay, when I experienced watching this movie, this is the experience that I got, and this is how I enjoyed the movie, and this is what impacted me. If I knew certain things in advance, it wouldn't have had the same impact. So I want to make sure that when I do a review, that I'm not revealing that information, that I'm just dotting around the edges, giving you a general idea of what the movie is about, and that's it. And then from there, that gives you the opportunity to at least know a little bit about what the film's about, decide, is this a film that I would even be interested in? And if you are, you can experience it without being spoiled in the movie. So that's my general approach, is just looking at it from a spoiler-free standpoint. But based on those two questions of what constitutes a spoiler and what does spoiler-free mean to you, let me know in the comments section what you think about those two questions. So I want to read a summary from ChatGPT, and then we're going to get into these two movies as examples, and I want to hear what you all think. ChatGPT is an AI thing that's out there that you can ask it a question and it can give you a pretty interesting answer. So here's what ChatGPT said. A spoiler is a piece of information that reveals key plot points or twists in a story, movie, or television show. Spoilers can ruin the element of surprise or excitement for someone who has not yet experienced the work in question. Some people try to avoid spoilers in order to have a more enjoyable and immersive experience when they watch or read something. Others may seek out spoilers to get a sense of what to expect or to enhance their understanding of the work. So I think that's interesting. Couple of other thoughts here that I will share is even mentioning the ending of a film, even mentioning how awesome an ending was, or that ending was amazing. Oh, I couldn't believe that ending. It was the greatest ending of all time. Even saying something like that is a spoiler because you're tipping off the person about something that's happening in the film. Even if you don't give the details of it, now someone's thinking about this amazing ending that's supposedly coming up. So that spoils the film. And then a really big one is mentioning twists. Even talking about a twist, even saying that there is a twist in a movie spoils a movie because now I'm going into it looking for this twist. And to me, that robs a person of the experience of watching the movie. Even if you don't say what the twist is, just the existence of the twist or just knowing that there's a twist in the middle or the twist at the end, that spoils the movie for that person because now they're not able to experience it as a surprise. Now they know it's coming. A twist is best experienced when you don't know it's coming. So please don't talk about twists. That is a no-no. But anyway, that's what I think. I want to know what you all think. But let's talk for a second about these two examples. So if you go on IMDb and you go to the Sixth Sense listing here on IMDb, let's read the summary of The Sixth Sense. It says, a frightened, withdrawn Philadelphia boy who communicates with spirits seeks the help of a disheartened child psychologist. Okay, that summary to me, if you just read that summary, that doesn't really spoil this movie. But if you read anything more than that, you're going to get spoiled in this film. If you read anything more than what I just read, you're going to get spoiled in this film. And this is one of those examples where I won't give what the ending is, but this is an example where you can really spoil someone's experience by mentioning that there's a twist. Oh, that twist at the end when he finds out, that spoils the movie. Let people experience the film for themselves without that information. Then you get the impact of it and it comes as a surprise. Now, I know in this day and age, people are pretty used to twists in movies and it doesn't, I think these films probably don't have the same impact that they that they had 20 or 30 years ago, because people are expecting twists these days, but still, you're still spoiling it for people when you mention that there's a twist in movies. So that's the example of The Sixth Sense. It stars Bruce Willis, just an absolutely amazing cast. Haley Joel Osment. You have Toni Collette, who is in this, just as well as Olivia Williams, who plays Bruce Willis's wife in this movie. It's an amazing film from M. Night Shyamalan. I think it might be his feature film debut, and it is an absolute masterpiece. Highly recommend you see that film. If you don't know anything about The Sixth Sense, good. I'm jealous of you because you get an opportunity to experience this amazing film. Go watch it and avoid spoilers at all costs. So that's The Sixth Sense. Now, let's talk for a second about the next film I want to talk about, and that is The Matrix. This is an example of another film that is best experienced knowing as little as possible about it. And that's how I got to experience it. When I watched this movie, I didn't know anything about The Matrix when it first came out in 1999. I think I may have seen a little bit of a trailer. I saw this question, what is The Matrix? And that's the only thing I knew going into this movie. It looked cool. I saw the whole bullet time thing and wow, that looks cool. That's all I knew. And I went in and saw the movie and was blown away. And that's the way people should be able to experience these movies. So let's read the summary of The Matrix on IMDb. It says, when a beautiful stranger leads computer hacker Neo to a forbidding underworld, he discovers the shocking truth. The life he knows is the elaborate deception of an evil cyber intelligence. All right. Now that's the summary from IMDb. Folks, that's an example of a spoiler. That's an example of, that's information you really are better off not knowing before seeing this movie. Reading that spoils this movie for you. It completely spoils the experience of seeing this movie. And that's an example of what I'm talking about that you'll want to avoid. And as a reviewer, please don't share that kind of information and spoil movies for people or leave those kind of comments and discussion threads. So that is an example of information that spoils a movie. So let me give you 4 things to avoid before seeing the movie. Before seeing a movie. If you are the kind of person that you don't want to be spoiled at all, you want to avoid spoilers, you want to avoid the possibility of being spoiled, here are 4 things to avoid before seeing the movie. 1, avoid discussion threads or comments on social media. Avoid discussion threads, comments, stay off the internet, before you see the movie, because discussion threads or comments can definitely spoil it for you. A good example of that for me is a movie I have not yet seen, but I've heard great things about. I want to see the Banshees of Inisherin. And I haven't seen that movie yet. I heard it's amazing. And I was on, I think, Facebook or something, and I saw a picture of the movie poster, and I clicked on something, and I saw one of the comments. And when I read the comment, I thought, why did that person write that? I would rather not know that that happened. Now I'm expecting this particular scene that they described, and that's an example of a spoiler. So I don't think it takes completely away from the experience that I'll have when I see the movie, but I now have heard about something that's going to happen in the film that I would rather have just seen watching the movie. But anyway, that's an example of information you can get in a discussion thread or comment that you'd rather not know about. Second thing, trailers. Avoid trailers. Oftentimes, trailers give away too much about the movie, especially trailers of older films. Sometimes I see trailers of older films on some of these Criterion releases, and I think to myself, they've just given away the whole movie. They've just given you all the major story beats of the film right there in the trailer. So avoid trailers at all costs if you want to be completely spoiler-free. The third thing is, unfortunately, please avoid reviews, except from trusted non-spoiler reviewers. So definitely be sensitive about avoiding reviews if at all possible. Or if you do see a review or read a review or watch a review, make sure it's from a source that you trust who is a non-spoiler reviewer. And then the fourth thing is avoid summaries or synopses on the internet or IMDb or the physical packaging. So we talked about the matrix and the summary on IMDb, but check out the summary on the back of this packaging. Look at what it says. It says, perception, our day in, day out world is real. Reality, that world is a hoax, an elaborate deception spun by all-powerful machines of artificial intelligence that control us. Okay, they just spoiled the whole movie right there. Look at that. That's a way to spoil a movie. You know, that's an example of the description on the back of the case, or a description on the packaging can also spoil a movie. So these are the kind of things you want to look out for and avoid when you are trying to avoid being spoiled for a movie. So I just wanted to just come on here and just share my thoughts on spoilers. This is an area that is a bit of a peeve for me, but I wanted to know what you all think about spoilers. Is what I'm saying making any sense to you? Does it resonate with you? Let me know in the comment section below. What is your perspective on spoilers, and how do you feel about them? Because there are some people who are very sensitive to it. They don't want to know anything about a movie at all. Any information at all spoils a movie for them. And then there's others that don't mind knowing a little bit of information about the movie. And then there's others who, everybody is on different, areas of the pendulum. Where do you sit in this discussion of spoilers? Let me know that in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.